What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined by my dad, Sean, and today reactions to the classics. We are continuing the wild, the sometimes a bit scary, the ominous, but ever captivating journey through Tom Waits' discography, and we are up today to Frank's Wild Years, his 10th record. As always, is coming courtesy of suggestion from our longtime friend and a patron of the channel, Josh. As always, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate you, man. And this is one of the longer Waits
It
records we've come across so far. And there's a lot of twists and turns, to be sure.
There is. It's, as you mentioned, 10th studio album released in 1987. A total change of pace for Tom, and the fact that a lot of co-written songs, mainly with Kathleen Brennan, his wife at the time, they were doing a play of the same name. Of course, the name of the album is an iteration and kind of play on Frank's Wild Years, a song from his 1983 album Swordfish Trombones, which is up on the channel. Play had its world premiere at the Briar St. Theater in Chicago, Illinois in June of '86. All tracks are written by Tom, except Where I Note, which is going to be quite a few places where I wrote Note. Recorded by Danny Leake and Biff Dawes, mixed by Biff Dawes at Sunset Sound, Hollywood, California. Trey, let's jump into this epic. Side one, Hang On, St. Christopher. This was a single. St. Christopher is, of course, the patron saint of travelers. A lot of times you see his little statue on car dashboards.
Yeah.
Very surprising to me this was released as a single. It almost sounds like it was mixed through a tin cup.
That's a good point.
I know that was the idea. And Tom's going to be all over the place on vocals on this thing. Some of them are going to be straight down the line. Some are going to be fantastic. And some are going to be like, what's going on? So what did you think of this one?
Well, coming right after Rain Dogs is a tough...
It is.
A tough task, but I felt this kind of... It had that dark and gritty nature that a lot of Rain Dogs did have, and kind of picked up where that left off. Interesting, you had almost those ominous horns going with that almost emotionless Tom vocal delivery that you were mentioning.
Well, those horns, you know what they remind me? They remind me like a 60s movie or TV show, and like a car chase.
Yeah.
Like they play that during the car chase, and the guy,
And that's a good point there, because a lot of this record, as we'll get to, almost has a sense of nostalgia to it, almost like that 30s, 40s TV where which we'll know when we get to those types of tracks, but I think that goes to, I've seen it described when we were researching the record as a dark cabaret type of genre, and I think that's a great description of this album and song.
Yeah, and I guess because it's written as a play, then you're going to have some different stuff which is going to be specific to the play. I didn't go try to locate the play if I even could. I wasn't that into it, but they all have a purpose instead of just being written just because Tom wrote them. So I guess that's going to play into to what they're about. Now we're going to go to a song, Trey, that has two different versions on this album. Straight to the top. This is the rumba version, and I'm not really caring for this version. It was also written with Greg Cohen. He's pushing to the top, repeats 3 times. I can't let sorrow pull old Frankie down. Live for tomorrow. I have found you. I don't know if we got drums or bongos on here, Trey, but I don't know what that was. But what do you think?
Yeah, this was a kind of a blend of throwback to his older jazz-like material. You also had the pump organ, which appears quite a bit on this record. Tom even plays it on a lot of these tracks.
He does.
And, this has a bit more optimism than a lot of Tom's material. And I think that does kind of go in with this kind of central maybe idea and character that we have.
Right.
Looking on that bright side, trying to almost make your way out. And, I dug this one, I think, a little bit more than you.
I dug it a lot more. I was not feeling the vocals. I'll tell you a song I don't dig, and that's the third song, Blow, Wind, Blow. This thing could have blown right off of this whole album. I was not feeling the vocals. I don't know. What, we got a xylophone on here, Trey? I don't know what we got on here.
Yeah, I was looking. It might have been the Glockenspiel, which appeared. The variety of instruments on this record is quite impressive.
It really is.
Yeah. Yet again, another one that isn't going to be amongst my favorite tracks, but I didn't
sincerely hope not.
I didn't mind it, unlike you over here. Just hating on this track. But I get it. The vocals are definitely a bit acquired. But we go from that to Tom hitting a falsetto, or his version of it at least.
One of those songs I was mentioning, teasing at the start, where, his vocals are just unreal. Ooh. Temptation, man.
And I was reading that he was a big fan of kind of Mick Jagger on Exile on Main
Street.
Yes.
He was using Jean-Claude Lauzon's film Leolo in 1992. I think he's tempted by the woman he can't resist. It's weird because his vocals are so good. They're almost soulful. Mm-hmm. And yet, we have, and I know it fits with Frank's Wild Ears in the narrative, but we have this Tarzan type stuff going on.
Yeah, there's like some moans in the background.
It starts out that way, and so it's kind of a weird dichotomy, but this one really worked for me.
Yeah, I thought it had a tight groove, just an aura of almost swagger to it, and yeah, that vocal performance is an obvious highlight, and that takes us to Innocent When You Dream, the barroom version, yet another one of those where there's almost, kind of two versions of the track. The other one actually closes the record out.
And he's going through memories. Verse 1, the girl breaks his heart. Verse 2, he breaks her heart. Verse 3, he is with friends. So I like that. It's almost like a take on an Italian song. You're going to get that a lot in here with some accordion and different things. It sounds like I should be in an Italian restaurant. Did you ever get that feel?
Yeah, that's a good description.
I was hoping you weren't going to say no, because I got that on a few of these songs.
No, man, I like that. I like that idea. And the line, you're innocent when you're dreaming or something along that. Yeah. That's kind of the crux of the song. And yet again, goes back to one of the main themes of this record is those dreams and that hope, really, and that optimism that, man, maybe I can get out, whether that be going to New York or just making my way in this world. I thought this track was just great.
Yeah, it was good. Now we'll go to I'll Be Gone. One of those he wrote with Kathleen, his wife at the time. It's a bunch of hyperbole statements, all leading back to, and in the morning, I'll be gone. We had maybe an accordion and an organ, but we got some wild animal sounds again, Trey. This one I had 4 letters written down. Not the 4 letters you think, but N-O-P-E. Nope, not for me.
Yeah, this is the bottom of the barrel on this record for me. Turns out a song that mixes that accordion with a rooster crowing quite a bit. Just, if you're wondering if that works, listen to this track. Judge for yourself, but it didn't work for me.
Don't even listen to it. We'll help you out here. You're watching us. I'll also let you know it does not work. We're already up to song number 7. Another Waits Brennan written tune. Yesterday is here. Repeated several times in there. Today is gray skies. Tomorrow is tears. You'll have to wait till yesterday is here. Not really sure on the meaning on this exactly, Trey, but it's one of my favorites. Fantastic vocals. Just a really nicely arranged song.
And I thought that lead guitar could almost fit in a Western. And
I did too.
Again, had that kind of aura of cool that a lot of Waits' music has. This was one of my favorites on the record. That whole concept of yesterday is here, and that I was just getting that sense of you want to take the best of kind of your past and implement it into your future, and then live in the present in that kind of sweet spot there. So yet again, a cool kind of a thought-provoking concept. And then we go to Please Wake Me Up, yet again, another one written with Kathleen.
Yeah, 3 in a row. I think he's wanting another woman, evidenced by the line, Trey, when our divorces are final, she'll fit right into my scheme. Second and the fourth, the last verse. Together we'll ride in the new year. I know that she'll be my queen, and if I fall asleep in your arms, please wake me up in my dreams. Vocal very straightforward. There might be a little treatment on the vocal, which you don't get with Tom. And then almost like a circus-like environment. I almost thought Lennon was going to slide in with Benefit from Mr. Kite. But.
Yeah, it had like, for the first, 30, 45 seconds, almost like that, 60s musical concrete, experimental.
Strange.
And then going into like, that this is one of those where you harken back to, like a 30s little TV show kind of
that's a good
delivery. And, the line you brought up, Jad, again, what is it? Harkening back to the dreams. And, this one isn't going to be, again, amongst my favorites, but it showed that uniqueness of Tom yet again.
It's definitely unique. And, you just segued right into the final track nicely. Frank's theme on final track on side 1. It's about dreaming away your tough times. So the dreams, it's okay for me. That's really all I got to say about that.
It's, one of the shorter ones on here, I believe under 2 minutes.
Under 2, yeah.
And I'm with you. I liked it for what it was, man. Kind of, again, wrapping up that the themes that we've had thus far on the record. And then we kick off the second side with More Than Rain. And that optimism that we had on the previous track is just taken down
way, man.
With that pessimism. Tom's in a dire situation here. Another one that was just kind of middle of the road for me.
Yeah, lyrically, he's talking about he was drunk, Trey, and now that he's sober, he realizes how bad things have really gotten. So straightforward delivery for me. one of those Italy atmosphere almost type things for me again. Just an okay song. Now we're going to go to the second song on this B-side, Way Down in the Hole. And some of you may recognize this song. It was used in season 2 as a theme for HBO's The Wire. Some have said that the 1994 song Red Right Hand by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds was loosely based on the song. It's really all about Jesus and his protection and keeping you safe from Satan. And then a more strenuous delivery than on someone, but not an over the top as Tom can get. An emotional delivery.
Yeah, did you enjoy this one?
I did enjoy this one. It was better than average on this album for me. What about you?
I think this is one of Waits' best, honestly, and I think that fiery...
On this song or on this album, I mean, or you mean period?
Yeah, period, man. I think this one's fantastic. Fiery delivery. You have that saxophone motif going in, so again, kind of harkening back to those early records that were jazz-inspired. Right. You throw in a dense guitar solo for good measure, and the subject matter, the religious imagery, just something I could really kind of get behind, sink my teeth into, man. And I've never seen The Wire. It's been on my watch list for ages.
Mine too.
But it might be one of Tom's more popular songs just due to that fact as well.
Yeah, that could be. Very good point. Now we're going to go straight to the top, the Vegas edition. And this one was a treat because I didn't know my boy Tommy had this in him. He is doing a Sinatra-type crooner delivery. And the man pulls it off flawlessly. Yeah. He really does, man.
Yeah, yet again, a lot of variety on this album. That show tune like delivery is something you would just never expect Tom to do.
No.
But hey, man, he shows that he can pull it off.
Much better than the other version, the Rumba version, which was the second song of the album, which I could not stand. This one was awfully good, and then he changed up the lyrics just slightly, but yeah, I mean, I thought it worked.
Yeah, and then after that, we go to I'll Take New York, which transitions seamlessly from that previous track and feels like it could be in a haunted house due to the feeling of everything being on the verge of chaos and mental delusions. This dude thinks he's going to be quite special one day, saying they're going to name a street after me right next door to old Franklin D. Again, this one was just kind of a middle of the road for me, but as the character and kind of, you could almost say this is a loose concept record.
Yeah.
Here we get this guy thinking, okay, I'm going to make it in the big time, and there's no other big time here in the States than the Big Apple, NYC.
Yeah, and my research tells me, but once again, I haven't seen the play, but in Frank's Wild Years, this is used towards the end, and it's about mental illness and homeless people when this thing is going on. So you were right on with the delusional part. One of the lines, "Have you got 2 10s for a 5?" This is one of my great, one of the great Tom lines. For me, it's almost like he's singing as another character. I don't know if you got that, but like it wasn't Tom in any iteration of Tom. And so that part of it didn't work for me. But he does hold the note for a very long time at the end of the song, which I'd never heard him do vocally.
Yeah, and that takes us to Telephone Call from Istanbul, which features a rare banjo appearance.
And I have no idea what this song is, but I guess it fits in the narrative of the play.
And there's some 30 seconds of organ that's really tight at the end. As a song as a whole, I wasn't particularly feeling this one. So yeah, that's about all I got to say.
No, I wasn't feeling it either. He did repeat the lines, "Don't trust a man in a blue trench coat. Don't drive when you are dead." And I think, Trey, that's some fantastic advice. I don't know about the blue trench coat. But
well, almost like a stream of consciousness lyricism in this one.
It is. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite songs on the whole album. Okay, good. Cold, Cold Ground. Also using that same Jean-Claude Lauzon film in 1992, Just Like Temptation. Also used in the great TV series Homicide: Life on the Street. Lots of Tom-isms lyrically in this one. Probably will be better understood, I think, in the greater narrative of the play, but it doesn't matter because his vocals are spot on fantastic.
And this is one of the more accessible tracks, I think, quite musically inviting, and kind of just easily breezes through those concepts such as being thankful for what you got, making those connections with others. So this is definitely going to be amongst my favorite tracks when we get to that at the end.
Well, we're almost there. But next to the last song, Train Song. Trey had to leave in a hurry. He's got nothing.
Yeah, and again, one of my favorites. I thought this kind of ended quite strong here. The line, drunk up all my money that I borrowed every time.
That's a repeated line. It was a train that took me away from here, but a train can't bring me home.
And here that harsh reality, I think, sets in. Where there was no fame in New York. There was no money. He doesn't have that love, and he recognizes, man, I kind of am all on my own right now. So ends this whole, Frank's wild years, I think, narrative. Again, we haven't seen the play, but almost on this guy, like so many, that have those big dreams and aspirations and just don't achieve them, man. And then we finish it off with Innocent When You Dream, 78. So again, another one of those that switches up a little bit from the version we had earlier.
The song's about the necessity of dreams. It summarizes the theme of the entire album. Same as song number 5. Distant mixing, like in the opener, just I guess that's the way they wanted to finish off kind of the concept of the album. It's all right for me.
Yeah, I thought it was well done, wrapping up those themes of the record, kind of coming through. It felt like mixing, almost coming through a gramophone type of thing. Again, harkening back to that old school feel that's so prevalent in this record, man. And capping it off again, talking about those dreams, which will now take us to our favorite tracks, man. In no particular order, for me, I'm gonna go Train Song. I'm gonna go Cold, Cold Ground. Innocent When You Dream, the barroom version, and Way Down in the Hole, Yesterday Is Here Were Mine.
I'm going to go Cold, Cold Ground, and Yesterday Is Here. Takes us to our overall score on this album. Trey Waits his 10th album, so it's the 10th album that we have reviewed. As we're going in chronological order. For me, this is my least favorite of his albums, but I also understand it's a concept. It's written for a play. It's so it's a difference. It's really hard to kind of score these things for that reason. But for me, it's a 5.0. It's an average album. Tom's, great vocal performance on a few of these is what raises it up to that 5.0 for me. It was fine. It was long, but once again, you can't really judge that. It's written for a play, so it probably had to be long. So 5.0, what do you got?
Yeah, for me, I liked it a decent amount more, I think, than you did.
I got that impression.
It took a little bit to kind of get into, and I think that dark cabaret style is going to be quite polarizing.
Sure.
And it could have been trimmed, I think, a little bit as well. Not going to be amongst his best works for me, and yet it still was. I was still interested, and Tom did enough to kind of grip me in, even with the songs I wasn't feeling per se. I was still getting behind the whole concept and what was going to happen next, and there was enough variety here to at least keep you guessing from track to track. And I ended up kind of digging it when it was all said and done. So I'm going to be at a 7.0 for me on this one.
I think you said a great word there. You said it kept you interested. Even though I gave it a 5.0, one thing about Tom, he always keeps you interested. You're always wondering, like, what the heck is this next song?
It's going to be a new experience.
He's never going to rest on his laurels. So really enjoyed that one. Thanks, Josh, as always, for bringing us that one. We'll have a new one for us next month for Waits. We'll be up to the 11th studio album. Looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what you think. We're a little divided on this album. Not hugely divided, but a little divided on this one. Trey, it's fun as always.
Oh, of course, man. And until next time, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and we'll see you next time.